live commerce for sure differs between markets. So we have it in one way here in the West, but I know for a fact that in Asia, and more specifically China probably, it's been like very popular there and then pervasive. Like we've seen it like in every single platform probably for a long time. So can you talk a bit about the differences between how does live commerce differ between those different geographies, and are there things that we can learn from those Asian markets?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting question and a space I love diving into. So you're right. So China and Asia, I mean, they're 8 years ahead of us. You know, they launched live shopping in 2016. And so, you know, just naturally, they're more advanced and the customers more trained to shop that way. But there are some cultural and some, you know, technical differences in how consumers shop in China compared to the West, whether that's North America or Europe. And so one of the big differences, and I think this is where you're seeing that drastic difference from, you know, in China, it's 20% of all e-commerce and like $500 billion or so. You know, it's a crazy amount of money driven through live commerce. But the way consumers shop in China is it's these massive aggregators and marketplaces like Alibaba and Taobao. And so that drive a huge consumer base to one platform that also has higher functionality in terms of that customer journey. So you're going on this big platform. There's so much to choose from, like an Amazon, but you're also able to do everything within that platform, transact, product discovery. And so this is where you're seeing these acceleration of revenue and conversion rates. Whereas in North America and Europe, there isn't a massive aggregator. It's very fractured where, you know, the commerce has various models where you're, you know, checking out on a owned website, or it's a bit of a broken journey on social. And so it's just not as seamless in North America. And I think what's to be learned is, I would say, and it's come a long way even in the 3 years that I've been doing this, but what I would say is what we could do is we need to remove the friction from that customer journey and not have customers have to click away from a live stream. You know, it's like, how do you embed that all into one journey? You've got them there, keep them there, and make it easy for them to purchase.
Okay, I see. And you mentioned that in Asia or China, approximately live commerce represents about 15 to 20%. Do we have a similar statistic for the West or for, let's say, North America or Canada specifically?
It's much, much smaller, and I don't have that statistic, but it's nowhere near that. I think the projection is by 2026 that it'll be, you know, 10%. But there's a ways to go, and I think every year what I hear in the industry is like, this is the year it's going to take off. This is the year it's going to take off. I think it is actually going to take off, and I think that's a huge part to TikTok Shop.
All right. So TikTok Shop is playing a big role in kind of making this available to the masses and then getting people to know what it is. Personally, for example, myself, I've never shopped via that channel. I've never bought something that is promoted live on social media. I've always been, you know, like using e-commerce the way most people use it, like in a passive manner. I go check products, I compare things, and I take my time before committing to buy. So it'll be interesting, you know, to see how this field evolves here, and then to try it at one point to see how it works.
You know, and you've tapped into something also that I think is a difference that I didn't mention is there is a cultural difference in how consumers shop in Asia and in North America. And I think you're right. We are a little bit more reserved, and Canadians in particular are a little bit more reserved, and there is much more of a consideration process, especially for large ticket items. We like to do our research. We like more product information and research around our purchases. And so I think that's just a cultural difference. So will it be as huge as it is in Asia? I mean, only time will tell, but I don't think you can deny, that there's just behavioral differences by culture. And I think that then that's important when you're building a live commerce strategy, is to really know the market and know the customer and the customer behavior, so you can tailor your live commerce strategy to match the consumer's inherent behavior.